Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 239.
You're going to want to watch that beer when you open it, because I've had two of these Sapporos that didn't explode everywhere out of this entire case. So
I will get my mouth ready then.
Have your mouth ready when you open this. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hi. Sorry. I wanted to make sure you didn't ruin your
I appreciate
everything you own.
The warning.
You definitely did that on purpose.
Nope. I was just too excited.
Everything is fine.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So we are drinking Sapporo, provided by Ryan this week.
Ooh, I got close.
Everything is fine.
Barely. I like, it was mostly head, but like if you open it and then like wait a second, then you're okay. But if you just open it normally, it's just a geyser.
I have never had a 12-ounce Sapporo, so I've had many tap ones. The 22.5-ounce bottle and can, I've done those for sure at Benihana, but this is a new one for me. So
yeah, no, it was like kind of a cheapish 12-pack that I got for the LAN party.
Yeah, I had to push that to February because
the LAN party, I guess.
The WAN party was great. Actually, everyone really enjoyed it.
It was a really good idea, I thought.
But yeah, like Corey it turns out he has mono.
Oh no. Is it from the moldy water
no,
bottle?
It's probably from
no, it's his
he's
kissing
got a girlfriend,
disease,
yeah.
man.
He's got a girlfriend now. Of course he gets a girlfriend finally, and then he gets mono immediately.
I made the joke about the kissing disease. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's what they call mono, dude.
That's a kissing disease.
That's why most people get it in high school.
Brewed, canned by Sapporo in Ontario. Yep. N1L. Okay, Canada, fix your area codes. N1L0H7. How do you remember that shit?
You don't. It's especially annoying when at work it will just say blank blank Canada in the essentials box, and then I have to look up what the area code is and then what town they live in because of the area code.
Jenny, your phone's kind of messing with the microphone there. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. One more. Patreon.
Oh yeah,
everyone's brain is messed up. It's not just us. Hi everybody.
You have COVID brain, and I rely on you for doing all of the heavy lifting for this podcast.
Oh, that's totally fine. I have no problem doing it. Patreon.com/Carbitrage. That's the one I was looking for.
There we go.
If you head over to this website on your internet tablet or your computer, if you have one or are not a boomer, you can look at these two fabulous open-ended levels of support that start at $1.50 a month to help us here on Carbitrage buy beer so we can continue to make a fun show for you to listen to. Patreon.com/Carbitrage.
Yay.
All right, and I think probably me first this week. It is...
Yes.
So, Mark finally got his plaid. We knew about that.
Yeah.
What we didn't know, there's actually a few things. He was trying to get winter tires for it because Tesla didn't want to let him take delivery of it on summer tires, which is actually kind of cool.
Makes
That's
sense.
really smart
Because it's
of
the
them.
middle of the winter, and this is a 1,050 horsepower car. He just told them, like,
I've
I'm
never
going
been
straight.
in a 1,000 horsepower vehicle. I think we need to take.
We'll do that in the spring.
We're gonna
Yeah.
have to do that in the spring because the highest I've ever been is in 790. So.
Yeah, Mark's old car had 787 or something, and that car already made you ill if you launched it twice in a row. So
Very
the plaid
good.
is my car added to his old one.
Very good. I like that quite a bit.
Anyway, he was ordering winter tires, but you cannot get a set of 4 19-inch winter tires for this car right now because there was a huge shortage and the factories didn't run at the correct capacity in 2021, and that's still kind of trickling out for the remainder of the season for winter this year. What he had to do was buy mismatched winter tires.
No.
So he's got different tires on the front and rear axle, which is fine on an electric car, but like they have obviously different behavior, so not ideal. Mark's just like, whatever, I'll just burn the rear ones off in the spring and I'll get new winter tires. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. So my dad bought Mark's old P90D, loves it.
Good.
The reason why I bring this up.
That is a very good car for your dad.
It is, because he has a 1-mile commute.
Yes. It's a perfect vehicle, yeah.
There has been a company, and this actually is in production, unlike the bumper to fix the snaz on the M3, there is a company that will make a real steering wheel for you.
All right, so this is my thing. I like the yoke, but the thing is you can
hate the freaking yoke.
On one thing, is it a manually adjustable steering column? Or is it power
adjust?
Oh, never mind. I hate it. I say if it's manually adjustable, you leave it off so it's telescoping. So it actually feels like an airplane.
Decelerating.
Push it forward, pull it backwards.
And it's not like it's an adaptive progressive rack where, like, if you're in a parking lot, you turn it this much, 90 degrees, and you're at full lock. No, you have to hand over hand with no top rim.
All right, so this is the thing. All right,
It's
one
a
second.
terrible goddamn idea.
No, 1 second. Hang on here. Stop
They're
the presses.
literally reinventing the wheel.
I'm more of a fan of this now, knowing that, because you have to understand. I love the Countach because it's bad. This is a Countach-y sort of thing. I feel like when cars are very good, they need something like this, which is objectively terrible.
Not the steering wheel.
No, that's fine.
It's dangerous.
You're right, it is. It's awful. It's a terrible, dangerous thing. The world doesn't have enough terrible, dangerous things in it yet.
Combine that with the newest software update that gets rid of your heated seat buttons. You have to tap into a menu.
Fucking great. Like, yes.
Added distraction.
Because how much money does this car cost?
They started like $125,000.
You are spending $125,000 to be uncomfortable every day of your life. I'm here for that. That is great. It's just like a Countach.
I will agree with you that cars that are flawed or are bad are better than cars
Yes,
that are good
this
or not
makes
flawed.
you should have to do this if you're buying a $125,000 Model S. Yeah, if you're getting a Plaid, you should absolutely have to buy a real steering wheel
The
separately.
yoke comes on every S and X now. Base model.
That's
and up.
even worse.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I like that Elon Musk is
No,
punishing people for being like his little nut swingers.
No, I gotta, cause like
No, it's
I'm
bad.
short. I
It's-
can't drive with my knee, so I always have my hand resting on the bottom.
Oh, okay. I think the bottom part is normal.
The bottom, no, it's a C shape, honey. So it's just the top is missing.
Well, then I also use
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, you hand over hand in a parking lot. I did this to a parts car, our BMWs once, and I drove it around the parking lot. I'm like, this is really, really dangerous. Like, I did not go out on the street
I'm
with the
okay
parts
with
car.
dangerous things in cars. We don't have nearly enough dangerous things in cars. People are far too complacent.
I mean, it is hard to die in a car.
It's really hard to kill yourself in a car. Like, if you drive the Buick versus, like, a normal car.
Well, it's easy to die in the Buick.
Well,
Or
that's what
an
I'm saying. Is
E30.
like the Buick is like that's how a car should be. Like you have seatbelts, which will keep you from dying, and that is it.
I don't think we should even have a seatbelt law. Just let
No.
the people that are too
Yeah,
young to wear them.
I think that's a great idea. You should not be mandated to have to wear a seatbelt. You should be able to option
In
a car
fact,
without them.
It should turn off your airbags if you don't put it on.
Perfect. Actually, yeah, that would actually make sense.
Better parts cars for us.
Huh? That's
Yeah.
a good point.
My-
And dead idiots.
Well, not only that, actually, an airbag sans seatbelts is worse because they're designed to work together. So if you don't have your seatbelt on, your airbag goes off. That's just going to launch you, whatever. And since you have a seatbelt, you could be like 45 degrees over.
Oh, yeah.
And then have like a mega broken back when you're done.
I mean, let's be honest. You're going to be reclined at a 75-degree angle in your driver's seat already. Anyway.
Yeah, in your Altima going 150 miles an hour down a side road. Yeah.
So my friend, like ironically, this happened this weekend, but my friend was doing a ride along with an EMT that was helping out a police department, and they like responded to a car accident, and
Crash.
somehow, well,
There's no
very
such thing
much-
as a car accident. It's always a
was-
crash.
It was very much a crash because a person accidentally didn't stop at a stop sign.
Were they driving an Altima?
I don't know.
That sounds like some Altima behavior.
I don't think I can release details, but they couldn't find tire tracks, and it was in a tree.
That was an Altima. Guaranteed.
And the
did see-
person
There's only
stumbled
one-
out in flip-flops. So
This is an Altima. You don't even have to tell me what car it is. Guaranteed. I will put all of my money on this being an Altima.
But yeah,
How
so
did you get from that side road down there up to this abutment with no tire tracks into my third floor?
exactly.
Altima powers.
And when they're like getting the person situated, it like triggered a missing persons report because when somebody called in the accident,
This
they
is
just
an
saw a
Altima.
car flying, and so they immediately reported the person missing because they're like,
I'm telling you, this is an Altima, guaranteed. It's a guaranteed Altima situation. This is big Altima energy. Like,
but it was just like, it was like, oh my god, like how does any of this happen?
What a dystopian place we currently live.
I know, right?
I was like, this is keeping me entertained on a Friday night.
Speaking of
Oh my
this,
God.
I feel like once I get back into doing stuff on Unreal, when I'm not like stressed out, I should make like a what was that Metal Mayhem or whatever?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. I should make a Twisted Metal style game. I call it Ultima Online. It's just
I
a
bet
bunch
you
of
could just
Nissan
mod Wreckfest.
No, I'd say no, like make my own game where it's like Twisted Metal. I can sell it on Steam. And call it Ultima Online. ALTIM.
You're gonna get a cease and desist from these, and probably Enterprise.
It's just to be a bunch of. It's to be a bunch of Ultimas, just like no weapons. They're all bumping like.
Load in the world from Forza Horizon.
Yeah, there's no weapons.
Don't take any of the glitches out of the game.
No, not even the world from that. Like you can actually get like models of cities from just terrain data on like Google Earth.
Photogrammetry is amazing.
Yeah, it just like have like a bad neighborhood in Minneapolis, and it's just Ultimas driving around, and then like have like all the music
in front of Lowry Tunnel.
Yeah, and have just like a bunch of Ultimas, and like the entire soundtrack is like trap music with like the bass turned off, so it sounds
super
like
distorted.
So it sounds like you're just listening to it in an Ultima stereo, and all the Ultimas are missing like bumpers and stuff, and just
wheel covers.
Oh my god, it'd be great. And the whole point of the game is you just crash into other Ultimas. And then the winners of surviving Ultima. It'd be amazing. It'd be a Twisted Metal of Ultimas.
Can we have a winter season in the game?
No, it's just gonna be in winter. It's like done. Like, it's not gonna be a summer. It's just gonna take place like Minneapolis in like February. It's gonna be a bunch of Ultimas like crashing into each other like 150 miles an hour max speed with their 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a great game.
I would play this.
This sounds like a great game.
I would absolutely play this.
I just designed this in my head, and I'm like here for it.
We're gonna have to call Nissan see if we
Well,
can get permission to license.
we got a patent lawyer.
Yes, we do. Yeah. So yeah, and then we'll have Scott like make sure we don't get sued.
This will just be a trade secret.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of dystopia, I want to talk about how incredibly unaffordable Volvo 245s are about to get.
Are those Bertone two-door things? Or
No,
that's
a Volvo 240 wagon. It's a fun fact with Volvo 240s. The 245 means the number of doors.
I really love Volvos.
I know. I think you should get one right now.
Yeah.
I love this picture.
Yeah.
It's got like a Dino, a GTO convertible, a Pagoda, a 968, an FB RX-7, an old Land Cruiser, super valuable.
That's not a Land Cruiser, actually.
What is it? Is it a Defender?
There's a Defender, and there's also a Suzuki Samurai.
Oh, I see that way in the background, yeah.
And what we are describing here is actually the Hagerty 2022 bull market list, which is from your magazine that you got. That's how I read about it when I was pooing the other day.
Yeah, I have Hagerty insurance, so I get magazines and leave your key.
Running when you go to it. Yeah, it's Ultima. It's
The
big
Ultima.
The Ultima is like in the game, like in the car. This is like a modeled kid, not like
Pick up your baby mama's diapers.
That's gonna be like a 3-year-old, like not in a car seat, just like walking around the back seat of your Ultima. Like,
No,
There
the
needs to be
90s
achievements,
booster
though.
seats, but it's broken.
Oh, you know what you should do is
It's
like
not buckled in.
you have one car, but like as you play the game, you
Goes over it.
Yeah.
you progress to get like cosmetic upgrades that are like child walking around in back of car and like a black
A
unpainted
set of
bumper.
3 18-inch wheels from Craigslist.
Yeah, and like a black unpainted bumper and like one eBay taillight. Like just like stuff like that. Be perfect.
I really want to play this now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But back to the Hagerty bull market list. On their list, so there's a lot of cool cars that you'd expect to be on the bull market list. And then they really just need to, I hate when they do this. They blew up a car's spot that did not need its spot blown up because the whole point of the car is that the car's cheap. And that would be the Volvo 245. And I hate that now, like, the word's getting out to, like, collectors and stuff that Volvo 240s are good. And
Of course they are.
Because the Hagerty bull market list always just creates a shitload of speculation.
Well, they just heard me say, Taylor Finger, I really like your car, and Hagerty goes, Gianna likes it, put it on the list.
I bet if you look at the people that are employed by Hagerty, you'll find that there's one of every one of these.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, honey,
Hagerty is spying on me through my Google Pixel.
At work we have an ongoing joke that Jana's like taste in cars is a precursor to
Oh, I've heard this.
yeah, and this is another example of that. Is you were into Volvo 240s last year, and now this year it's on the Hagerty bull market list. So Jana, what is on the Hagerty 2023 bull market list?
Carbitrage exclusive.
I don't know if I want to give this out for free.
That's fair. Give us one hot take. of something that you want
take,
quite
I
bad.
really have been trying to distance myself from reality lately, but...
Yeah, but I mean that's fine because we don't. We
Fine.
run
so my
cold
sister is
take.
trying to get rid of her Santa Fe. I don't...
No, she's got a Optima.
A Kia Optima, right?
Okay.
And the reason why she got it was because it was between the Optima and a small Scion, and then her ex at the time crumpled a Buick, or got crumpled into a Buick. And so my parents kind of panicked and was like, get the bigger car. And she got the bigger car, despite it
Being
belonging to someone who lives in Mexico, so it wasn't driven for 2 years. So she ended up having to put like
Perfect.
thousands of dollars into it right away, and it's still like
Atrophy. Yay.
and she's still
Right?
having some problems with it because she drives frequently enough, but because it wasn't driven before, it's not getting driven enough. You know?
Sure. Yeah. And
So
cars do not like that.
and the fact that it's as big as my van, but with little space, interior-wise.
What are we thinking of?
So I've been
29.
trying to like help her figure out what she wants, and we both agreed on the Toyota Corolla hatchbacks.
The new
Or-
ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So like collector.
So that's like
though.
a new one. Collector.
I'm all about the Corolla hatch for a new
Yeah.
base.
So like Corolla hatch.
That will be on like the 2040
Yeah.
Hagerty bull market
Yep.
list.
Yeah. But like an old car that I've been liking,
I know you like Echoes.
but I like prefer the Matrix, you know.
You think the Matrix would be on there?
I don't know if it's old enough.
a
No, it's
Matrix
not on
XRS?
I really.
At some point, yeah. I like the Corolla XRS too. Like that car.
Any Toyota XRS.
Any 2ZZ non-Elise
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah, I've been looking at like older cars, but I have been looking at hearses,
There you go. I think that would be your one.
and specifically like the early to mid '90s ones, and those are actually going up in value.
I believe that.
B-body hearses.
B-bodies,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, B-bodies.
What
So
about
there's-
front-wheel drive Celicas?
I think B-bodies actually. That pick right there is a
Oh, what
B-body.
else?
I think B-body, anything. Like, have you seen what's going on with the wagons and even the sedans?
Oh yeah, dude. Nobody even slabs B-bodies anymore. You can't. They're too expensive to slab, and like even like donk people are buying them to like maintain. It's weird. It's a weird, horrible universe that we live in where
Yeah, they've
donks.
got their crappy donk, like just the old horrible car that's been butchered. Then they've got like a really mint stock Impala
No,
SS in the garage.
For real, not even that. Like we're talking like specifically a '93 Caprice, because '93 was a 1 year where they had it as a Caprice with full wheel arches without the skirted wheels.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did it 1 year as the Caprice, and then went to Impala after that. It was just the SS. But actually, you're right about the B bodies, because yeah, they're going bananas for B bodies. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, and then like the Suzuki versions of a Land Rover.
Oh, like a Vitara.
Yeah, like
Suzuki Vitara. Yeah.
like just small 90s SUV trucks, which
utes,
have
yeah.
been already kind of coming back anyway.
A first gen RAV4.
If
Yeah.
that pumps up my Vehicross, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh yeah, no, you need to get one now.
Well, if I found one for like $4.5 that wasn't a complete pile of crap, I'd probably buy one.
Yeah.
But
But
I
it's-
love the Vehicross.
They're really
I hated them so much when they came out, and I'm like, this is the best thing
I
ever.
always loved
It's
them.
got a Momo steering wheel and Recaro seats.
You made
like,
fun
this
of
is
me
the
so much in
stupidest
high
thing.
school for
it
liking
was a
that.
Terrible.
It was a great vehicle.
Still is a terrible vehicle, but I still want one.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, I've always enjoyed a dumb car, and you've like, it's been a recent development for you that you appreciate a dumb car.
This is why our car fleets look
Yes.
the way they do.
Yeah.
Everything I own runs except for the O2.
Yeah, and all of mine are just dumb cars. I can't find parts for them, but they're really cool. They're dumb. Like I actually don't
It's
want.
true, but
I don't want to drive it.
I do want to drive my car.
All
That's
of my
the problem.
cars, like the only cars that I personally own that I actually want to drive are my Fiat and my Cresta. Those are the only two vehicles I enjoy driving. Everything else is awful. And then Jana owns a Buick, so I can't technically say that.
Yeah.
So,
But like I think
sorry.
I haven't been considering like a specific make and model of like cars. Like obviously I love Toyota and Volvo, but like I've been wanting particular quote unquote builds from cars as opposed to like a specific vehicle. And what I'm seeing is a lot of the cars being sold that I would want, they're restored, but
Okay.
by restored, they mean that they put in like sport eco
Oh.
sport seats. And, like,
Modified and refurbished is the term that I
Yeah.
use at work, because everybody tries to say, "Oh, I restored this truck with like eight bins of Bondo."
so I think the
it's like it's not
trend
restoration; that's modifying.
in the next year isn't going to be a specific vehicle that I've been like, oh, I want that. It's going to be cars that have been driven by a single family
Okay.
up until, the matriarch or patriarch of the family is now passed, and like they don't really have anybody who has the money to maintain the vehicle or know what to do with it. I think that's what's going to go up in value.
It's going to be original ownership and
Original
not
ownership.
unmodified.
unmodified, and they're not going to be in 100% condition
They're gonna be
because you
drivable.
want the loved-in feel.
Yeah, you want a
You
driver
want-
car.
Yeah.
So unmodified, like known ownership.
Yeah.
You should say known ownership, unmodified, driver
Well-loved
quality
cars.
vehicles. I think that's a really good take, because if you look at this Hagerty bull market list, we'll go through it right now.
Because that's like what I was looking for when I wanted the Buick. I didn't want something super pretty that I was gonna like want to keep in my garage all year. I want a car that I'm gonna take out and I'm gonna be like, oh, it got another scratch. Whoops, that's okay.
I do like buying cars that have damage.
Yeah,
'Cause
things
it's
that you can just drive it a little bit. You can enjoy
Yeah,
it. Like,
you know.
Do I have to park at the back of the parking lot? No, I do not.
no, I can just park it where I feel
Because
like
like
it.
as much as like having those cars that are like show quality, that's fun. But I don't.
Is it?
It's fun.
Everything
to
I own
Ideally,
that's
it's
nice
fun.
sucks.
Well,
to
it's
drive.
it's
But-
fun to it's fun in concept.
In concept, because you're getting, the attention you want from having
so-
a vehicle like that.
I don't
But
like attention.
I like, especially over this years-long pandemic now, I don't want to be doing things for other people. I want to be doing things for myself, and
Yep.
that is, I want a car that I feel comfortable in, and I'm not going to feel comfortable in a clean, pretty, shiny car. I want a well-loved car.
So let's go through this Hagerty list right now, because
Sure.
you're actually right about that, honey, because all their cars are cars that are best in driver condition. So first, I guess number 10 on their list would be a 1969 through 74 Ferrari 246 Dino.
Bet my boss is sad he sold his to Carini like 6 years ago.
Yeah, probably, because that was not at the peak of their value. They've actually gone up a lot in the last couple of years, and that's why they're on here. But yeah, they said the lows are like not inexpensive, and finding a good one is difficult. But like the whole point of it, if you go into the article, they say you don't want the number one, you want the number two value, because it's excellent but not perfect, and you can still take it to a car show, win at the car show, and then drive it home and be fine. Like, you're not driving something that's unaffordable and undrivable that you feel bad about using. Number 2 is a weirdo, actually, on this list. The 6667 GTO.
Is it
Not-
specifically a convertible or no?
No, it's specifically a GTO.
Because that's
Right.
Mia Theropoulos.
Not a Tempest?
No,
no,
not a
no,
Tempest.
no, it's not the Mustang, but it's the same.
No, it's not. But
It's the same year and like model-ish to the Mustang that Anne Hathaway drove in The Princess Diaries.
It's peak muscle car that you can get, and it for some reason these haven't gone bananas yet. It's the last cheap real quote unquote muscle car. It's also the cheapest car that I'm not interested in at all.
Yeah, I don't want one of these.
No, I love 60s American cars. I hate muscle cars. Muscle cars, like, it between 1964 and 1966, my interest in American vehicles fell off with just an Olympic ski jump, just went right into the ground. It was amazing. I've never seen anything like that. It's like watching Enron stock value after they declared bankruptcy.
I'm trying to think of the oldest American car I care at all about. I think it's the Typhoon.
Oh, see, this is the thing, is I do care a lot about old American cars.
I know you
I'm
do.
looking at that bell.
As am I.
But
Didn't have it last week.
my interest in American cars stops in the muscle car era and starts back up with like Fox bodies and Geos. Like, it's just, like,
I'd say that's more than a 3-year stop then.
no, it's not. There's like a 25-year gap in my interest in muscle cars at all. Because I don't care about muscle cars. I could not care any less about muscle cars. I do like some American cars from the 70s, but they're all captive imports. And so, but anyway, back on topic of the GTO, the whole point of this is like this is the last like affordable muscle car. So like if a millennial for some reason wanted a muscle car, I don't know why you would.
If a millennial wanted one of these, you literally just go get a Tempest, or there's a third model that was just like a different trim of the same car, or it was a 4-door instead of a 2-door. Catalina, yeah. Just go get one of those, because like you can get a really nice condition one of those for literally nothing.
Exactly, and Le Mans is another one. It's the Catalina, the Tempest, the Le Mans, and the GTO are all that. And then
Could you get that weird
half?
half V8 in any of those?
Yeah, actually, the Tempest, because it was the Pontiac Trophy 4 was in the Tempest.
Another company I found out that did that same thing, Lotus.
Oh,
And
that makes sense.
also International.
Really?
Yeah.
In their
In their
Scout
Scout,
stuff?
yeah.
Really? I didn't know they did a 4-cylinder.
That was the whole thing. Is a half V8 apparently. It was the whole genre of engine.
I was
Weird.
looking at a.
Just
It
fascinating.
wasn't an Esprit. It was the coupe version of that, the Elite, I think.
Yes.
They opened the hood, and I'm like, why the hell is this thing canted over so far? Like, there was plenty of room between the hood, and they had mentioned, and I looked, and like the starter was in like just a stupid spot, and like the oil filter was on the side. I'm like, oh yeah, it was originally designed to be made into a V8 at some point, and then it never happened.
Weird.
Yeah, so Lotus's
so
2.3 in-house 4-cylinder was always supposed to be a V8.
It just never happened.
And
That's
they
so
did a
weird.
V8, but it wasn't based off of that.
I think the other thing is like, so I get, all right, okay, cool. Somebody really wants a GTO. I don't at all. However,
I do like the front end. I love the grill and the
Yeah.
headlights. Those are and the bumper.
And you can get
But that's
that
not
with
GTO specific.
yeah, that's not the GTO
No.
specific part. Is the piece of plastic right here,
yeah.
and the
which
hood
is
scoop.
Fine.
Which
The hood scoop makes it ugly.
Yeah, you don't want that. What you really want is you want a Le Mans or a Tempest, and then you can actually still get all the cool engine options.
Oh yeah, you can
With
still
those-
get a
so
big block and a 4-speed and all that.
See, what they
Yeah.
went wrong with the scoop is everything else is so influenced by Art Deco, and then they went square.
This is why I really hate muscle cars. Like I really, really, really dislike muscle
Because
cars.
they have like these nice
Wasn't that a
feminine
Clint Eastwood movie?
round, like they're like flirting with a square, right? And then
Yeah.
the little hood scoop is I'm a square.
Yeah, no, it's just
like-
weird. It's just tacked on. I hate it. And you're totally right about that. And yeah, and that's I'd say like if you really wanted like a 60s Pontiac, and plus you can get like a 65 Grand Prix is objectively a cooler looking car than this, and you can get like really cool shit. You can get like triple carburetors on that and everything. You don't even need the big block. You can just get like there's so many weird engine combinations with these.
Well, and there's so many 6-cylinder cars that have been converted already to like correct big block powertrains. Like
Yeah.
if you do want that, like you don't have to pay for.
They
an
also
original.
had an overhead inline 6 in this era, which
Yep.
is very cool. Overhead cam inline 6.
I figured that's. What you meant.
Yeah, but they like there's just so many cool things. And like what I do like about this is I don't want the big block, the super expensive one. I want the dumbest combination. Give me a Trophy 4 with a 3-speed column shift and positive traction. That's the one I want. That's just a weird combination of track, and then like put it in a convertible. Like just make it as
So-
dumb as possible.
So there's this trend in clothing where, people assume people in the past were smaller because most of the surviving garments were just too small for average people to wear. So that's why they survived, is because they were too small to alter and all this.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen with cars, where like is the weirdo shit just not going to exist because everybody tries to make it fit in with what was
I
popular?
think so. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why you can't find a Trophy 4 anymore. Because everybody took the Trophy 4s out and just, like, junked them and put in a small block Chevy. That's why the small block Chevy is called a belly button to hot rodders. And that's why I have absolutely zero interest in as soon as I see a small block Chevy in a car, my interest stops. Like, absolutely just tanks. And, like, there's some weirdo, like, LS Vortec engines that I'm very interested in, but the vast majority I don't care about. And because, like, that was the thing. It's like you had so many cool engines in this era where it's like, I don't blame people like you, Eric, not caring about cars like this because, yeah, I see why you wouldn't care. I just happened to have like found out recently about all the weird, cool shit that they did that boomers got rid of.
Well, my main issue is like I could get a BMW E10 in the same year that this was made, and like there's no alternative reality where I would prefer that.
No, and you're absolutely correct, and that's I say like boomers just boomered all over it. Is like when you would take out, it was the same generation that covered up wood floors with carpets, and they took the Trophy 4s out and put in V8s, where it's like, okay, cool, it's better, but it's also like worse than the E10 BMW in every way.
Yes, it's probably even slower with a bigger engine.
Yes, it's a much worse vehicle. So don't try to make it better. Enjoy what you have. Take your Trophy 4. Just show off your weird, stupid
give
engine.
Us that really terrible sounding probably engine.
I'm sure it sounds really hilarious because I'm confident it still has the same firing order.
Oh yeah.
It probably just sounds
same distributor.
It sounds like a Subaru, guaranteed. Like no question.
But Scott was saying that the 04 Plus GTO might also be a bull call. That's potentially
that would
true.
be a good one. Yeah,
a lot of those got taken apart for their LS swaps.
That's very true. Yeah. But like, there's just so many cool things in this era. I think like, really a hot car to get. I think a really good decision. It might not even be worth money, but something that you'll be happy with is 60s American cars that aren't muscle cars. Mm-hmm. Where you get like your weird Mercury Monterey or some weird crap like that. Yeah. Or Buick Nailhead.
Scott was also mentioning that Napoleon was average height, and I want to do a little fun history fact is he was average height, but because people disliked him so much, they just told everyone he was really short to make him mad. And that's why all the pictures show him so short. Is just people were just bullying him to make him mad.
It's amazing how petty
and that's
people
what
were.
survived history, but they're actually finding out that, he was a totally normal guy. He was actually a little bit taller than average.
I love how petty people were back then.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of founding fathers that like were written out of history books that I've recently found out about, just like from like YouTube, like deep dives and stuff, because like they like had like lead paint poisoning and were just actual lunatics. But like ended up like coming out with like actually like noteworthy parts of our Constitution, like just like weird things like that, and then suddenly America makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So moving on to the third pick for their bull list.
I was surprised to see that the boomer interest in this GTO actually dropped significantly.
Because they're all dead.
Well, I know. All right, next one.
Oh, the snow scared me.
So the next one is actually a 1992 through 1995 Porsche 968. I cannot agree more about this.
The Gustafsons just sold theirs this year, and it did very well on my trailer.
It's a very good car. Like, I love these.
They're really pretty. Isn't this the one that I found in Ruby Stone Red like a couple years ago?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. You found one of these in Ruby Stone Red. You can get them in like the coolest colors. They had the Grand Sport, or the Club Sport, which is the one you want. Because that's where they had the color match wheels, so you could theoretically custom order a Ruby Stone Red Club Sport with pink wheels.
And like the really fun thing about these Porsches is almost none of them are identical because everyone customized them to the fullest potential. Yep. So you can get custom seats, you can get custom.
They're very, very cool.
968s were so expensive when they were new. So if you bought one, you went all out.
The one the first Ruby Stone Red car, Porsche that I ever saw was Ruby Stone Red, and then it had plaid seats and matching magenta seat belts.
Yeah, this is also one of the first cars where they offered custom seatbelt colors.
Like everything on it was 100% customized, and it was like the coolest car I'd ever seen.
It was,
they're all like that, or all very similar to that.
I think it was like a red or a blue tartan interior on Ruby Stone Red with magenta seatbelts.
It was like it was
purple, wild, like just like some dude like did this like
the tartan was like
on coke, like the last dude in the '90s doing coke.
No, LSD.
Yeah, the dude was like coming out of a rave, and
the tartan was
like I ordered that.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like a sugar baby's car, but the tartan was like a nice green with like a bluish gray and an indigo.
So the thing is,
it was wild, but they're like muted, so you couldn't really like see the tartan unless you looked really.
It's like the person that orders like a mint-colored E39 528 Sport. It's like, your car is always going to be worth more than the regular one because of that. But I don't like the color being the main reason.
I think it's fascinating that the majority of people that are interested in these right now are boomers.
That is really interesting.
Followed
Yeah.
by Gen Xers and the millennials, and then like nobody Gen Z wants one of these. Because like, yeah, I don't blame them.
I don't want one.
I don't like Porsches like as a rule. I don't like them because I don't like the connotations that come with Porsche ownership.
I don't like Porsche owners.
Well, yeah, that's things. There's some that I
We like you,
Well,
Scott.
yeah. Like, he doesn't have one anymore.
Yeah.
Like, Tom's great.
Tom's great,
Like,
but
Brandon's good. But, like, most of them are just
most of
insufferable.
them are Brandon Flashes. They're all Brandon Flashes, and they all have the coolest car in the world. Like,
I want Jeremy
will-
Clarkson's, like, Ned voice to describe that. Oh, this is a 964.
Yeah.
It's made these 2 years. It's got this special engine.
like Porsche people are like masters of talking at you about why their automatic 996 4-wheel like Carrera 4,
Tiptronic.
yeah, Tiptronic Carrera 4 is better than any other vehicle in the world. Like
Porsche-
regardless of what it is, like it's better than a Countach, it's better than a McLaren, it's better than
Porsche
anything.
owners buy the car for the brand, not because of the car.
Yeah. But what I like about the 968 is the 968 still has that connotation of being not quite a real Porsche.
The last.
Yeah, the last one of still being kind of a Volkswagen, and that's my favorite part about it. Is I love cars that Porsche owners hate and are also very expensive. Like that's my favorite. Like peak Porsche to me is like a 924 turbo, like just the worst possible of everything.
I just
But
think their
also
silhouettes are so
like
cute.
very cool.
I still think the 928 is the worst Porsche ever.
Oh, that one is, but also that's another one that I love. I love the 928. Like I really objectively
Like, Harold Schaff, like, I think it was in his last round of cars he owned before he died. He had a 1994 928 S2.
Oh, S2 or GTS? 94 might be a GTS. Did it have a spoiler?
Did not.
All right, then be a S. Yeah.
I think it was an S2, but it was a rear-wheel drive manual. It's like the later big engine. I'm like, this is a 928 I like.
Yeah, no, 928s actually got cool.
Like, the car was so nice.
People shit on 928s all the time.
Terrible cars.
Well, it's a Porsche. The thing is, all right, if I were to get, if I had, like, your money for me to have my taste in vehicles,
Oh, that would be so tragic.
it would be horrible. But no, I would totally have an early 928.
Oh,
I would
Ryan,
have the worst one. And the reason is,
it would never move.
like, yes. Well, no, actually, well, 'cause I could afford to make it move. But the reason I would get that is so I could then Porsche owner other Porsche owners and talk at them how they talk at me about their cars, and I could talk at them about my 928.
You would
being
go up to
object-
996 turbo owners and just lay
oh my
into
god,
them?
no! I would go to like 991 owners, like brand new, like
Well, 992s now, I think.
yeah,
but-
like the DPK or whatever it is.
PDK?
PDK, yeah. I go to like PDK owners with my 928 and talk at them at length and ruin car shows for them until they leave, and go to every Porsche owners event and do that for the whole damn show.
If I
It would
could-
just be the worst.
if
And
I-
the car be brown with a tartan interior.
They all are,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, with like phone dial wheels. Yeah.
If
3-speed
I could
automatic.
own a Porsche
Yes.
just to like piss off Porsche owners, it would definitely be an all pink one, and then I'd pretend like I know nothing about the car.
Not even Ruby Stone, but pink.
Yeah.
They
No,
actually-
no. I would do like ruby stone red, but
And
it's
you can't do that because everyone loves Ruby
No,
Stone.
everybody loves. No, you'd want to get Arena Red, which is like Ruby Stone, but it's just it's a shade off. And then what you could do is you could, when you go to car shows, you could just back into things,
yeah.
and then and then
Like
get
I
out.
would just like pretend that I like, oh, somebody just told me to bring my car here, and then like, if they
I'm
tried
going
to
for coffee. I don't know what you guys are doing.
yeah,
over here.
like what? I was in the neighborhood. What? And then just make them really mad when they would like try to tell me about my car, and I'd be like,
Yeah, so the 968 falls within this category. Like, this is the actually good version of cars in which you can talk at Porsche owners about. So yeah, this car totally deserves to be on this list. I love this. And I love that it's appreciating faster than 911s, which is my favorite part. Oh my god, I would totally talk at 911 owners about that. But, so moving down to other cars where people talk at you about them. Land Rover Defenders.
I thought these were always just super duper expensive.
Yeah, they are, and they're getting more.
Ah, great.
didn't I know somebody who imported one of those recently?
There was one on our peninsula in the 90s that was imported. And
Well, they had an NAS one. Did it have a roll cage on it?
I don't know. It was fucking 8.
Okay, because if there's a exterior roll cage, it's an NAS. It's a North American spec. You could get them in America.
Oh, maybe it was that then.
Yeah, so you could get them in America. They're very difficult to find. They're super rarely imported, and they came with an exterior roll cage, which was like way cooler than the not American ones.
No, this one is a truly imported one. I got little information about it being imported, which was fun.
Excuse me. Oof.
So the one actually a really good buy with Defenders is you get the Spanish-made Santanas because they're cheaper and better.
Mm-hmm.
What is the Santana?
It's made by Santana.
It's just
Spain,
a Defender made by...
in Spain.
I would so much rather have one of those than a Defender.
Yeah, so it says...
Is it like a Zamyad Z24?
Kind of, yeah. Well, it was made under... So in Spain during the Franco dictatorship, it was like significantly cheaper to get cars made in Spain. Like, it was actually affordable to own a vehicle.
Franco, but okay.
So Franco was their dictator that they had during the 20th century. And that's why like Seat and everything exists.
Oh, nice.
Because it was cheaper to get a car made in Spain than it was to import a car made from like Germany or France or somewhere.
Ridiculous.
And so they'd make like the exact same car just in Spain, make a knockdown kit. So the Santana, they actually made a knockdown kit of it, but they instead of using like Lucas Electronics, they had their own electronics that they used.
Oh.
Yeah, much better. They also did just little things to the engine to make it more reliable. Like they just changed the ignition tuning and stuff, different carburetors, different intakes. It's really fascinating. But then some of the later ones you can get them in diesel, so you can get a Defender 90 any way you want. So yeah, this car deserves to be on here, and I'm okay with this being on the list because there's always going to be a variant that's cheap to get. Because there's so many variants of the Defender.
Okay, that's fair.
Because this price here, Hagerty number 2 value 61 to 77,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's for a British-made Defender 90. That does not include. If you go on Branch or you just type in Santana, you'll find them much cheaper than that. Yeah, you can still see these in the 30s regularly, and the condition that you want to own them in. But this is another one of those cars going down this list of what you said, where it's like driver's cars are more desirable than collector cars.
Oh yeah, because people want those to go off-roading.
Oh my god, first-gen Range Rovers are appreciating that much too?
Yeah. First-gen Range Rovers. I don't understand first-gens.
I mean, they're aluminum, which is cool, but they weren't that well made. So they had tons of body issues, and the 3.5 and the 3.9 sucked.
So the first-gen, the Santanas are even more desirable. Because I think they had a completely different engine.
Wait, the Santana did a Range Rover as well?
Sorry, not a Range Rover. Sorry, I was thinking for Series 1 Land
Rover.
Rover.
I gotcha.
No, Range Rovers they've always been bad. Anytime Land Rover tries to be luxurious, they're always bad. I've got one waiting for me once when Ralph passes away eventually. I'm going to inherit one, which I'm not excited to inherit.
Forever.
I know. I want him to live forever because I want to maintain that Land Rover. I love him. Also, I really don't want to maintain that Land Rover, and I refuse to sell either of his two cars because he has two very cool cars.
Hari asked me because his sister was looking at trading in her CLA 250 for a 5-liter supercharged Range Rover Sport. I'm like, that is a run, do not walk away from vehicle.
Don't do that.
Do not do that. And he's like, why? I'm like, have I ever steered you wrong? And it comes to vehicles, like, fair point. I'm like, I have my reasons.
Yeah,
you do not.
There's so many.
You do not.
It's one of those vehicles where it doesn't have one catastrophic issue. It's got a series.
Everything is made out of marshmallows.
Everything just kind of breaks.
Like, well, can I bulletproof it? I'm like, no.
Nope.
Everything's like a 2.0 TSI in that thing. It's like might be fine, or it could blow up tomorrow.
It's a 6-cylinder Audi Q7. That's what it is. It's very similar to that. Where it's like,
I didn't know the 5-liter had timing chain issues until recently.
No.
I mean, I've always told people to not buy one, but I didn't do any research until recently.
All right, so this is my thing. I know that you love timing chains because in theory they're better.
In the 90s, they were.
This is the thing. This is why I don't even fuck with timing chains. Nope, timing belts, because nothing.
We need to go back because oil change intervals and type of oil is not conducive to timing chains anymore.
No, and I think that I will always say I will always take a timing belt over a timing chain, because with few exceptions, there's never been a car where you just don't have to do a timing chain ever. Like, small block Chevys are the only vehicles where you just don't have to do a timing chain.
BMW M/S engines, you never have to touch them.
But that's the thing is, if it does happen for those, it's a catastrophic problem.
It doesn't. Those
But-
chains, I don't understand it. But, like,
I just don't have any faith in that because, like, even Mercedes, like, M117s, very reliable engine. But when that timing chain happens, it sucks.
only the 116 said timing chain
But I
issues.
say when, because the thing is, those cars are known to be overly reliable, and people will push it, and it's possible to show up with the timing chain because somebody just like decided they didn't want to change their oil for 20 years.
Even then, I believe the engine will seize before there's a timing chain issue.
But anyway, I'm just saying, timing belt, I'd rather have something where it's a known serviceable item.
now I want every engine to have a timing
Yeah,
belt.
because it's known to be serviceable.
We talked about timing belt versus chain on like early Carbitrage, probably motor call days.
Yeah.
And like
Oh yeah. No, we had a whole argument about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And,
And
like,
this is why I'm like,
timing chains were better for a while, and
Yeah.
that's back when timing belts sucked. Like the technology that went into belts back in the 70s and 80s was terrible.
oh yeah, it was awful.
Now,
but,
like modern Kevlar reinforced belts, like they last longer than timing chains.
yeah, and the other thing is like they're designed to be serviced.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, sometimes.
well, even if the belt is like problematic, like the worst time belt in the world is on a Mazda Protege.
I've never done one, so I don't
you,
know.
you have to disassemble pretty much a whole engine to do it. You have to put because the valve cover is part of the timing chain assembly, but to pull off the valve cover, you have to pull out the entire ignition system. But to pull out the entire ignition system, you have to pull out a portion of the fuel injection system. They built the whole damn car around the time belt, but like even that's like not that bad compared to your average timing chain. But anyway, moving on to something
Yes.
that doesn't have either.
Okay.
Is actually, I guess, technically Deville driven. The 79 through 85 RX-7.
But that's been on the up and up.
This is the first year it's on the bull market list though, because this is the very affordable. Like this car is criminally cheap for what it is. Because all right, so a good 280ZX. We're gonna go with the worst possible Datsun. A good 280ZX is like a $15,000 to $20,000 car for like for a good one, like
Ugh.
not for like one that exists, but for one that you can actually take to a car show and like one in like your Ferrari's condition,
Okay.
where it's like you're proud to drive it and you don't have to like hide it like in spectator parking.
Sure.
Like you can actually take it to a show and enjoy it, but it's not quite number 2, number 3 value,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
That's where I like it.
Yeah. So whereas like for RX-7 for like
Those
a
cars are a service away from it.
you could literally get a number 1 first gen RX-7 and for the price of a reasonable 280ZX.
Jeez.
Yeah, these cars are so like number 2 value for, and so for this $27,000 option, I have to believe that's a GSL SE, which is a fuel injected to 5-liter.
Weren't GSLs all automatics?
No,
Good.
they actually, I don't think I've never seen an automatic on these. I don't think they came with an automatic transmission. I think they were manual only for this.
Really?
Yeah, these are actually very cool.
I really thought they sold these.
The weird problems with these, they have horrible suspension geometry. Like really catastrophically bad.
We'll call it diabolical.
And reciprocating power steering systems.
Recirculating ball sucks.
Yeah, but I mean most Mazdas in this era were. So they were able to make it work. It's about as good as you can get with reciprocating ball.
I will say, like, the M5 has that, and, like, I cannot believe that that is a ball box.
Yeah, and so it's if an M5 can have it, this can.
Yeah.
But they're so cheap. So like $27,000 for the best one in the world. I would personally say get an earlier one because none of them are reliable. You're fooling yourself if you're thinking that they're reliable. So and you're not getting a ton of power. Or, I mean, you're getting like a substantial amount of power with a GSL SE with 5-liter. But like you're still gonna be balls slow. So just enjoy yourself with a carbureted one. Save yourself a ton of money. And if you get one of the early ones, like Richard has, they have a way cooler rear end. So if you just like really quick just Google like 1979 RX-7, you'll see the rear end. And so you can see that the 80s ones have that weird Heckblende thing.
Mm-hmm.
The 70s ones had this like homely like license plate like placement. Right there, perfect. This weird license plate placement, but I think that actually works better on the car because it's just like the car's kind of a homely 70s car.
Honestly, that looks newer than the...
Yeah.
The Heckblende,
Like,
yeah.
the first time I saw one of these, like, I saw an FB, I don't know, probably in the late 90s. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, they look
Bah.
bad. Yeah.
Ugh.
But
Like,
if
the
you see
front's
it,
fine and all
I
that,
actually
but-
like the 70s rear end. It's such a 70s car. So this is like when you say that you like the 512 TR Testarossa more than the
yeah.
actual
Oh,
Testarossa.
so much better.
So to me, in my mind, that's like the difference between the Heckblende RX-7 like FB
Well, it's
versus
a
the
Kuki
SA.
versus Zenki 300Z Z31, or it's
Yeah, I'll
the
take-
Arrow versus
Yeah.
Seal Beam Fox Body.
Exactly. Like I like the original design because it flows better with the whole car. Yes, objectively the 512 TR is probably better. Objectively, the Aero front end is better. I just think that when I look at the car as a whole, I look at like the design of the rear end, and I look at the design of the front end, and like how the pillars are designed, and I'm like, this seems weird and tacked on. So just get the older version. I think the original rear end on this looked way better. And it
If
saves
old
you
versions are in like their best domestic spec, sometimes there's something to be said for that. Like E30s, like
Yeah.
early E30s with Euro bumpers look awesome.
yeah.
Like just as good as the
Yeah.
plastic bumper cars, but like it's not better than the plastic bumper
I think,
car.
and well, this is the thing. So with the RX-7, the other problem is none of them are ever going to be reliable ever because it's a early rotary. It's just a rotary. Period. You're done. With the carbureted one, these actually wake up a lot with small Holley carburetors, like 4 barrels, like downdrafts.
Weird.
Yeah, really weird. But like, you just put a muscle car carburetor on it, it saves you a ton of money. It wakes the engine up. You make about as much power as you would with fuel injection, and
I mean, this is your engine donor for the Mondial, so
exactly. This is why I love this engine so much. But like, yeah, no, you put like a Holley 650 on it, and it wakes it up a ton, and then if it breaks down, which it will, in the middle of like Wisconsin Dells, you can just find another carburetor. You're
Yeah, but
fine.
it's not going to be the carb that breaks.
Aha. As long as you keep oil in it, because you have to mix oil and
Right,
gas in this, and they did not make it easy on these. As long as you keep the oil mixed with your gas, you should be fine. It's usually the fuel injection issues that you run into. So I would say get an earlier carbureted one instead of getting the fuel injection. Because you don't want to look for a wiring harness for one of these in the middle of Montana.
I'm going to say don't buy one of these, buy a Repu.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
the correct answer is a Repu. A pickup is
Oh,
just
hey,
better.
I'm psychic.
So moving on to another Jana car is the 63 through 67 230 SL Pagoda. I didn't think that these had more to go for.
Well, 230. Most of these, the ones that ran were 280s.
Okay, so the cheap ones.
This is
Yeah,
the
you're right. Yeah,
four-cylinder one.
the 4-cylinder ones are a lot cheaper. So yeah, and look at that. Yeah, boomers are falling off of a cliff. Negative 20% interest in boomers, and millennials want them now.
I love that they call Gen Z post-millennial, but
230 still,
I don't
six-cylinder.
think they interviewed any
Oh.
any Gen Z.
Well, they don't interview. This is from quotes
Wow. this
for
engine is
insurance.
gross.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, they're not driving.
Pagodas are so nice. There's a guy in the other end of this building that has just a super nice white Pagoda 280.
Yeah, I was. I did a video for Mohammed Al Badi at the Medina Cars and Coffee for
Gross.
their Oktoberfest thing.
That's too bad.
Yeah, but I got paid to do the video. And I was talking about the 230, and it's like I just mentioned how like you had the gull wing that like really set up the car, but the 230 like it made the car attainable.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept the car like the car was just a classy car. Everything flowed together. Every little detail was an actual detail. Like this car, a Pagoda is like just as detailed as say like a Ferrari 250 is, but like you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this deserves to be on here. I'm just.
And they're reliable because Mercedes.
And then yeah, the Volvo 245. I'm upset that that's on there.
I'm surprised to see that the first gen 190 SL, the convertible, really tanked in the last.
Yeah, I
10
know, right?
years.
So a car that's on this list that's like mind blowing: the 65 through 70 Cadillac Deville. Yeah, go past the 240 because we already talked about that.
Oh.
I just don't want to deal with that. God, this list is getting long.
Oh God.
I'm gonna blast these last few because the very last one's the weird one.
That
But
is,
yeah.
that is an acre of vehicle.
It is
Too big.
weird. Every
Ah, why?
Gen X loves these.
All right, this is the first time we're gonna say identify as a millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Gen X. Like they
Why?
love these.
Why?
No idea. Not a clue.
All right, we'll skip past that. That thing's
The
bullshit.
Samurai.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what
Now
was I
we're
just talking about?
Yep.
These things are
Small-
made out of mashed potatoes, but boy.
Yeah, I think they said in this one, if you just don't crash it, you'll die. Oh yeah, it's only fast if driven over a cliff. This is true, but
I love that it came with trailer wheels. It's like, it's just
yeah,
the
they're
best.
great, and they've like gone through the roof lately in value. And that's to be expected because
So get yourself a Daihatsu Rocky.
they're impossible to find in reasonable condition because every single one
They
was,
were not well made and they rust really badly.
and then they were not owned by responsible people.
Correct.
Every single
Just
person
they're-
owned one was a complete dickhead.
Oh, yeah,
Talking
and,
about like your whole thing with like responsible known ownership and unmodified. Yeah, this.
Oh yeah, cause like straight up in high school, one of my friends had these, and he literally painted it with a broom to make it look like a Tonka truck. Well, I think they did more than paint it with a broom.
He had a sidekick.
Sidekick, whatever.
Same thing,
you know,
though, yeah. A
very
small
similar, small.
Suzuki.
Yeah, that he painted like a Tonka truck, and.
I wonder how Suzuki X90 values are doing right now.
Going up annoyingly.
Oh my god, look at the chimney.
Yeah. So they're
Oh, interesting. I have seen this actually.
yes. And then the last one on their list was a Tesla Roadster Sport, which is
Because one of them got sent to the moon or the sun.
These were worth
Orbit.
very not much for quite a while.
I know.
And then the last couple years, they've just exploded.
Because
but
there's
when
one
the
in
new
space.
Tesla Roadster comes out, these have to drop off.
No, they
again.
won't. Your whole pioneering
I mean,
EV thing
the
that you were talking about? Like, this is your pioneering EV. Like, the first cool EV.
it
This.
was, yeah. I mean, the first one that
This
got
is-
delivered from here to Chicago, the entire Midwest. The first one that got delivered was on my street.
I remember it was green.
I wrote, no,
Yeah.
it was
It
yellow.
was yellow. Yes, it was yellow. Never mind. I'm sorry.
But like I rode in it in 2008.
I
and
know. I
was like,
remember you told me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was kind of a mind job. So I mean, it is an interesting vehicle, but it wasn't good.
It was the first good EV, though. Like, when you compare this to iMayev,
And this was many years earlier.
this is when... No, the iMayev was... Like,
Oh, good point. This
and
was the only
iMayev
convertible.
were made in the same year.
Oh wait.
Yeah. Actually, the iMayev was in Gran Turismo 4.
Oh, I forgot.
The
about that.
iMayev was...
Yes,
it was
that thing was so slow.
that is... Yeah, it's still... somehow it's
I
still in
want to race a
production.
patent motor wagon on that.
But yeah, this is the first cool EV. So yeah, this is a totally forever be an expensive car. This is-
EV1, yeah, and the early RAV4 EV. I mean, there were some good EVs before, but
No, but this is the one that... well, it's like saying, like... What was the first supercar? Everybody says Miro, but you can make arguments for other cars. But, like, everybody says the Miro is the first supercar.
yeah, because it's a form factor more than like a performance
Yeah.
thing. 'Cause you could say like a Type 35. It's a
Exactly.
supercar.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had electric cars in the.
I don't know.
since
The Tesla
beginning.
Roadster's interesting.
I think that this is a car that will be a six-figure... That has no business not being a six-figure car for the rest of eternity. Like, this should totally be...
Fine.
Yeah, it should be a six-figure car. Like, it just is. So, yeah. Tesla Roadster is the last car on that list. It was just so wild to me that, like... And the thing is, they're all cars that you want to drive. Because, like, nobody is going to maintain a 45-foot long Cadillac. Nobody's going to
don't-
make it perfect. Nobody's going to make any of these cars perfect.
You can't service these, and they're not reliable.
All of these cars are designed to be enjoyed. And you just, that's what they're for. It's for just your enjoyment. And yeah. And I think the Tesla Roadster, that's a car that will, like, for now, I think is unserviceable and unreliable. I think that there will be a market that comes around these cars.
Probably. We need to get a lot more tech-savvy car modding people before these are going to be a wise pickup secondhand, because they are, like I said, they're not reliable.
Well, the thing is like, right now, you can't, it doesn't make sense to maintain a car that costs $50,000 and is what it is. But when these cars hit six figures, then suddenly, yes, these are now cars that are worth maintaining. But, I mean, everything is not worth maintaining for a long time. A lot of DSs were never maintained because they were fuel injected. Nobody wanted to deal with fuel injection in
Sure.
the 1970s and
Same thing
1980s.
with like X19s and all that crap.
Exactly. All that crap just fell by the wayside for a long time. And that's the same thing's going to happen with these Tesla Roadsters. So, yeah. A lot of weird things on the bull market list this year, and it's all Jana picks. And so, yeah.
I think
just
the X90, we'll have to add that too.
Yeah, I think the X90 will be a 2020 3 car. I think the Echo will be on there eventually.
As long as it doesn't pick up my Via Cross yet.
All right, let's blast through a couple more. That one took a long time. I'm sorry.
So the Fiat 500 got kind of rebirthed into a second new generation. I don't even know how you describe it. I guess third generation Fiat 500 got brought to the market last year, but it was not for the U.S. soil. So
I know, I'm upset.
Really, really great car, a nice big battery, finally a usable range. They default to the C configuration, which is awesome. Just a great little open-air car. FCA Stellantis Group brought one to CES in Las Vegas.
Can they bring that? I want that.
I mean, there was one on American soil, so like actually multiple. Why? If that's
why would you bring it to CES?
I don't know. There isn't that much like new technology in it, so maybe they're.
Bring it here.
Bring it here. I mean,
I would like that a lot.
I remember when Scott was buying the ID4, even the Nero, he's like, I would buy that if they brought it here. I'm like, well, good.
Yes.
I mean, this one's got.
I want a 500e. I want a Honda Urban E. Like,
Honda says Americans aren't interested in electric vehicles.
Honda's also wrong. So we're gonna get the Urban E, and
correct.
Like I said, we're gonna get the Urban E in 20 years, so when it's the size of the 1975 Cadillac. Like, that's what they're gonna give us.
When urban vehicle usage is outlawed, then we'll finally get it.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Is like, whenever Honda says something, do the opposite. Because Honda and Mitsubishi are like tied at the hip for like bad decision making, like forever.
You hear that, Stellantis? Do the opposite of Honda. Honda says we don't want EVs.
Yeah, and we clearly do.
Bring us the 500e.
Well, I mean, what is this like? Well, the thing is, so with like, if you ask any like, look at like TikTok stars, like viral TikTokers, what do they all drive? They all drive a Tesla. They all drive an EV. Not a single person who got like money from like being like internet famous owns a Ferrari. They all own Teslas. They all own cool EVs. So the cool thing to do is to have an EV. We want EVs. Bring it here.
I love my the old 500e was awesome. So like what they actually like designed the car to be an electric only.
Yeah.
And like it has to be so much better.
Yeah. It has to be. It sounds great.
And I'm not going to get an Aura Cat, so
yeah, I'm frustrated. Oh well.
I hope I hope the CES appearance of this car means that they're actually going to bring it to us.
Well, speaking of Gen Zers who are looking for jobs, so we all know the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
We do.
Well, did you know Planters has a version?
That's
the NUTmobile.
Nut.
They're looking for nutty drivers to drive their giant NUTmobile.
This thing is...
It's called the Planters NUTmobile.
And it's very veiny looking.
It looks like a giant peanut, honey.
I know. I'm well
Anyway,
aware.
they're hiring people to drive these around. You have to have a great personality. You have to be a college graduate. And yeah, you could drive it around for a year. And they'll be making media appearances on radio, television, digital publications.
Great drag coefficient.
Yeah, probably of none. I'm not gonna lie, this would be kind of fun to drive. It's
NUTmobile.
The NUTmobile.
That's Corey's car.
Yeah, it is.
Oh God! Scroll down. Look at its face.
I know it's bad.
Well, it's got like Tahoe headlights on it.
Well, to be fair, I mean the Wienermobile isn't exactly endearing. You can drive a giant nut, or you can drive a giant wiener. So there's a bunch. America is full of phallic marketing vehicles.
What's next?
Well, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile
well, this would be
is
the George
also
O'Keeffe.
hiring. Oh no.
The Flower Power
The
Mobile.
Flower Power. The George O'Keeffe Flower Mobile.
Thousands dead crashing off the road as the George O'Keeffe Mobile overtook them. Oh shoot.
There could be like the American Milk corporations like Anus Mobile, or just I don't know.
Polyp Awareness Mobile.
Polyp Awareness Mobile. Yeah.
What is that? It's a sphincter.
It's a giant sphincter just driving down the road. Yeah, we're gonna have every weird body part. Then the next one's gonna be like the weenus. It's gonna be your elbow.
Just flapping in the wind as it goes down the highway. Ugh. I am excited to tell you that the Cybertruck has been completely scrubbed of any 22 plans. And I hope that means it just gets killed off.
I don't want it to get killed off. I love the way it looks, and I think that trucks are dumb. So
Trucks are dumb.
yeah, I think that the Cybertruck is a perfect dumb truck.
The Cybertruck will never exist as this.
No, I want
It
it to
cannot
not.
because of the DOT. It is
How
too
so?
wide. It is too large to be registered as a pickup truck. So either they have to completely scale the whole thing down a bit,
Which would be hilarious.
or which probably what's going to happen, or they have to completely redesign it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I
don't like any
I don't.
truck.
Yeah, trucks are all dumb, so might as well just make them all
To
the
Ryan's
Cybertruck.
point, I
Yeah.
like the fact that they're memeing truckists.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's a giant meme. Like, everybody hates Elon Musk. I hate Elon Musk, but like, I will give him credit for him being just a big fucking meme. Like, that's all he is.
The whole company, let's be honest, is a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the dumbest
The
truck.
fact that he's, I'm not. I have nothing good to say about it, I guess. But I,
Ryan hates that roof line.
I do hate that roof line because I do like a nice, strong, flat roof line. You are correct.
the thing is designed with nothing but a ruler. You should love it.
I do, but I also my love of straight lines is over over encompassed by my love of horizontal lines. I think that things should be flat. Like, I love a good strong roof line. Like, if you can't commit to a strong roof line, you can't commit to designing a car.
I hate to tell it, like almost every roof on every house is triangular. And
Okay.
that is a house right there.
Which is not a car. Because they aren't committing to a flat roof line for a house. Because they can't commit because it has to stay up. You have to commit to something that's worse.
I see.
Yes. So, we will look at...
It'll come out as a Volvo 245.
Perfect!
Yeah.
Then I'll like it.
I think that's probably what's gonna happen.
I
It's
I think you mean a
too
Polestar
uncar-like.
245.
I think they should do a flat top like that, like the Buick Riviera.
They should do high corners and then have it come down to the center so it pools everything in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes! They should. And make them steel.
Not stainless.
Just steel.
So it rots through.
Yes! That's a meme! That's a Tesla!
It's all stainless steel except for
No,
the part where
the whole car is
everything-
aluminum except for the roof, which is bonded directly to the aluminum, and it is concave in the center. It's surrounded by sunroofs. It's just completely surrounded by independent sunroofs that open outward. So when you're driving with your sunroof open,
The
you have
front
all
ones
these like
catch the wind.
yeah, the front ones and the side ones like hit bicyclists. It'd be perfect. That's a Tesla meme-mobile. That'd be so perfect. And they would eat them up because it's a Tesla. And just Elon Musk nutslingers will buy literally anything. So, yeah.
Speaking of nuts, okay. Well,
All right. Well, I have good news.
okay.
Let's watch my good news.
All right.
Oh,
There was a
don't like that
race.
smell.
Between a Lada Niva,
A Niva legend.
a Lada Niva legend,
Ooh.
a Dacia Duster,
and
and a
a
Jimny.
all grip.
all grip off-road drag race. Now that's a race.
Who wins?
I don't know.
Does the Niva win?
I literally discovered this
We're
right
not gonna
beforehand.
watch a video on a
Carwow.
podcast.
It has some good content, but it's a minute and a half of plugging their damn channel, and then it's 30 seconds of content.
Yeah, that's kind of how they operate. I'm hoping that I can just like blast through this and just like go to the end.
I just want to know who wins.
Yeah, I hope. I don't know. I'm rooting for everyone.
You didn't pre-watch this?
No, honey, it's 21 minutes long. I'm not gonna pre-watch it. Anyway, it says right here. 1 second. Oh God, no! It's got this guy talking. But if not the Dacia, it's gonna be a toss-up between the Lada.
Do they even still make the Panda?
It was the Lada that won.
That's
saying.
not surprising.
Yes, the Lada won.
Where's the Primoc Taos?
It is currently behind an iron curtain,
Oh.
dependent entirely upon if Vladimir Putin wants to invade Ukraine. And I really, really want him to not care about Ukraine, because I care more about the Primoc Taos than he cares about Ukraine. And he cares more about Ukraine than the United States cares more about Ukraine. But at the end of the day, I really, really care about the Primoc Taos. And I'm totally okay with America going to war so I can get this damn truck. I want that truck.
Well, if that falls through, at least you can get the Corolla GR.
Yeah.
Or they do sell the Niva in Canada, which means that I can get a 25-year-old Niva. And then I don't have to give anybody in Russia my money directly. I'm just going to some guy in Canada like $20 for his used Lada. So that's the power play.
There cannot be many Nivas in Canada.
No, they actually sell them. Like
Well, I know, but like that
Well,
can't have been a high take rate.
Well, they're mostly sold in like the Arctic Circle part of Canada. So there's not a lot of
Road
people.
trip.
But like statistically, I imagine it's probably a fairly sizable number of people that are getting Nivas and that live in like Nunavut.
You could probably order one through a dealership in Cuba.
I probably could.
Oh, Russia, all the time.
Oh, speaking of things in Canada, did you know that how in like GM they have that like the one speedometer where you
talking about
switch the
Camaro?
range?
Yeah, there's a button on the steering column or whatever
Yeah,
to switch
it switches it from miles per hour to kilometers. So in America, like it's sensible because like, you go from miles per hour to kilometers, and suddenly you have
you cross over the border in your rental Chevy Express van. You hit a button and you're
your 120 mile per hour speedometer is now 120 kilometer per hour speedometer,
Correct.
and it just like pegs the speedometer.
Yep.
So in Canada, they use kilometers per hour primarily, and then miles per hour secondarily.
And it's still a digital switch.
Yes.
Oh.
So when you get a Camaro, which has a normally 200 mile an hour speedometer, now has a 330 mile per hour speedometer when you switch from kilometers to miles.
That's going to take some doing to get a Camaro to do 300 miles.
It is. However, fun fact, the Canadian Camaro is mechanically identical to the United States.
Are you sure
one.
it's not a substantially similar vehicle?
It is. Actually, they have the same federal regulation sticker for the United States and Canada. I just wrote one that was a 2019 Camaro 2SS 1LE, which is like the track package.
Yeah.
And all of the stickers that were there said this. It says also complies in America, and they just got DOT EPA like the HS7 and the 3520-1, and just sent it over with no problem to America. So fun fact, you can have a 330 mile per hour speedometer in your
And
Camaro.
like a V6 Camaro probably
You
too.
can get in a 4-cylinder even.
Well, is that like the Mustang where the 4-cylinder was an option above the V6? Or is
no,
it?
the
Okay,
4-cylinder
Camaro
is
is the
below.
actual base.
But
Okay.
you can get a 4-cylinder 1LE. So you get a track package on a 4-cylinder Camaro.
Perfect.
That's the one you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Camaro with the track package. So you get the 4-cylinder Camaro with a limited slip differential and magnetic suspension.
Hell yeah. I mean, I don't
Actually
know
kinda
much
cool.
about their 2-liter turbo engine if
Yeah,
it's any good, but
probably not.
it's easier to replace. Very small.
This is very small. You could probably use like one hand. So here's your top tip. If you want a 330 mile per hour speedometer, buy a Canadian Camaro.
Yeah, don't buy an F40, you
Yeah.
imbecile.
Buy
Buy
a
a Camaro.
Canadian, buy a 4-cylinder Camaro and bring it to America.
In fact, even those don't have that.
There you go. All right. Bye.
Bye.